Back in the garage, a Jeep Cherokee, known in Spain as the Liberty Jeep, has just arrived in the garage.
This car that's coming in this morning has definitely got an engine problem. Like, it seems to have plenty of power, and it's only when you really rev it up that it's making that bottom end tapping noise. It's definitely bottom end. It may even need another engine.
Unfortunately, getting at the sump isn't quite as straightforward in this 4x4 as they had hoped.
It's not going to come off past the strainer, it can't go.
Take the box off first. Right. I'll take the engine out. Right.
Getting the engine out is a massive job. It's the equivalent of open heart surgery for the car. And there's no instruction manual for these guys. It's all in their heads.
Once I get this stripped down, it's going to be like a jigsaw puzzle putting it back together. Because I might get it all stripped down, it might be stripped down for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I've got to come back on it and rebuild it. So it's all up there. Good fun.
Jesus, this boat is never ending, man.
But taking the engine out is a bit like unpeeling an onion. There's a lot of layers to get through before they reach the middle. First off, they have to remove the prop shaft. Then they have to remove the subframe and the exhaust system. Finally, Jock has to work out Sandy's undecipherable Geordie accent.
Tag.
Hi.
Do you want to tag?
Don't I what?
Do you want to talk?
No, I'm fine.
And once they're both singing from the same hymn sheet, they'll finally be able to take out the gearbox. But it's chock full of transmission fluid, which they can't drain. Unfortunately, leaving the gearbox full while you try to remove it is a bit like trying to hold a pint of beer in a string bag. Except that this gearbox doesn't hold a pint of beer. It holds 28 pints of transmission fluid.
Look at this nonsense.
If this is major surgery, they've just hit a main artery.
Go and get one of them buckets, mate. Just bear with me a minute. Right, are you ready?
Finally, they lift the Titanic gearbox out of the Jeep.
Learn how to scrap somebody's 40 grand motor. Sorry, sir, but your car's in bits.
Next door, Sandy has resumed work on the problematic Liberty Jeep. It was brought in yesterday with the bottom end knocking noise, and they're having to remove the entire engine to look inside it.
Go and get that engine hoist, will you?
Oh, everything's off there, Jock.
It's like a heart transplant, isn't it?
It's a delicate and time-consuming operation, but the final result is pretty impressive. And once it's out, Sandy explains what puts the V in V6.
The V6, you got 3 cylinders on this side of it, you got 3 cylinders on that side. 3.7 V6. That's obviously, these is both your heads. This is obviously a block. When you look at the engine's actually a V like that. It drives like pistons drive like that.
But the Liberty Jeep story is only just beginning. Now the engine is out, they're finally going to be able to see inside, and who knows what they might find. The next step is to get right into the heart of the engine, and Sandy is in it up to his elbows. Having removed the sump, they're able to access the crankshaft and look at all the surrounding components for possible damage. Just as Jock suspected right from the start, it's the shells that are damaged. A combination of heat and not enough oil meant this engine was on the verge of absolute destruction. At the end of each original shell, there was a tiny indentation or break that acted as a locator. But the new shells didn't have this. Without the locator, the shells would simply spin on the connecting rod and offer little protection. So with the Jeep's engine lying in pieces, they've been waiting for Chrysler to confirm the correct shells were delivered, and today they have an answer.
They've said that they are the right shells for that vehicle. As far as like putting brakes on them is concerned, you're going to have to use your knowledge and technology to put brakes on them before you put them in, you know. So I'm trying to devise a way where I can put the shells in and put brakes on them without damaging the shells.
The garage isn't a main dealer and doesn't have the specialist tool to make the indentation in the shell, so they'll have to improvise by using a split pin.
Right, hold it on there.
Just come up a bit then. That's fine, that's fine. Yeah. Perfect.
With the shells now modified, they can be fitted into place.
Yeah.
With each half shell fitted, the crank and connecting rod is rotated 180 degrees to allow the second half to be fixed. And the modified shells seem to be going in easily enough, until he reaches the final set.
We're going to have to wet and dry a little bit of the crankshaft off now, because it's got a tiny little bit of this shell actually ground into it. So we're going to have to smooth that off before that gangs back on.
The final shell is located furthest away from the oil pump. When the oil levels started to drop, it was receiving the least amount of lubrication. As the engine heated up when running, the shell began to melt.
That's the worst one. That's the worst one we've getting out yet. Can you stay at them? To actually heat them up that much, the metal's come to the side and melted them.
The melted metal on the crank now has to be rubbed down to ensure that it doesn't rip apart the replacement shell.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, this could have well been avoided by like a 10, 12, 13, 20 quid worth of bottle of oil.
With the shells fitted in place, Sandy can now impress Jock by putting the engine back together. He's committed the whole process to memory when dismantling the engine. Now a week later, he has to piece together hundreds of nuts, bolts and heavy parts in the correct order. Time to find out if they work.
That wants to come up.
Wants to come up, doesn't it? Right, hold it there.
Well, that's it.
Right, that's it in this side. Is it your side?
That was good to me, that. That's what all like that.
With the engine in place, the team can rebuild the Jeep, including lifting the 60-kilogram gearbox back into the chassis. With the Jeep back together and no pieces left over, time to see if it fires up.
Alright, I'll just leave it there for now and I'll drive it around the block and have a look again.
Sandy gives it a quick spin so he can listen to the engine.
The man that runs it's been really lucky at the end of the day. If they'd run it for another couple of 100 miles, it would have been disastrous basically. New crank. Probably been cheaper to put a new engine in, to be honest with you.
And a new engine would have cost the owner over $5 grand.
Sandy's had it, he's well happy with it, and if he's happy, I'm happy.